knows his way around goals. Missed a bit of footy throughout this season in the back half of the year, so that's probably why he was able to get through to being a rookie selection, but a great story for him too. So we mentioned those guys. Jordan Baker and Tyrell Dewar will get to West Coast as category B rookies as well. And then there's a couple of zone
I
selections
don't
too that we
need that at all.
Lions Academy.
Great name.
Via the Lions Academy.
There we go.
Yeah, great name.
All right.
Fantastic. Giving Stealing Green a run for his money on that front. And Jason Gilby would join the Giants out of there.
All right, we should be all right there. Want to share it out to all the socials.
Who was nominated as a father-son rookie selection for the Cats, meaning that if he got through the national draft, where they didn't have bidding rights on him, that he'd get through and they could automatically list him as a father-son rookie, which they have done earlier today on Wednesday. So there's 15 players that have been added to the pool by these rules, and I think it's a really good thing for the AFL to be able to open this up and open this mechanism up to get priority access to these players.
Just on Anthony Mankara, Essendon fans are so excited by him, Cal, and you think about the Davey boys joining as well. Essendon's got a few zippy players who are going to be there, especially if Anthony McDonald-Tipungwuti can get back to full fitness.
Yeah, and he lived with Anthony McDonald-Tipungwuti for a few days as well during that week when he was doing some...
Alright, I might actually lower the volume a bit.
His progress and development over along here, and it's going to be a long sort of path. And
yep, there we go, that's a bit better.
Before he's at AFL readiness, I think, for his footy, but definitely...
Alright, welcome everybody to the stream. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get stuck into the rookie stream. Thanks for the support you guys have shown over the last, 2 days, 3 days now. It's been absolutely amazing. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and get stuck into who we're going to pick up in the rookie draft.
Yeah, there are opportunities there. I also think that Jake Stein will get picked up by Gold Coast, Connor Blakely as well. And of course, North Melbourne will open the process today as well. And there's some other names who've fallen out of the national draft, and Mitch Skabowski, Blake Drury. These are the type of guys who might come into considerations pretty early on.
Well, you mentioned North have the first selection, and they've made that pick, and it is Blake Drury, so a player that you've just mentioned, Cal.
Yeah, a great story for him to go to North Melbourne. He's a smaller forward/midfield option for them and manages to just get going with the ball in hand. So he's a prospect who was pretty unlucky to not get selected overnight, but certainly has that capacity to impact games. He played some great ones for Vic Metro throughout the championships and also for the Oakley Chargers, was captain of his school team at Caulfield Grammar. So certainly will give his all at North Melbourne and adds to their crew of Vic Metro prospects that they've brought in through Harry Sheasel and also George Wardlaw.
All right, well, West Coast were the
Blake Drury is going to be a really good player when he gets his start for sure.
Yeah, and that's a sort of, we talk about the players who need to get their opportunity back. He was delisted more recently with a year to go in his contract, but has been brought back to the footy club now. So he gets back on the list at West Coast, and they've used that pick to supplement their squad that way.
There you go.
Look, I think West Coast really went really strong at the draft. I like their hand of selections. They brought in real speed. Hilton, Kobe Bergiel, and went tall as well, including Harry Barnett. So they bring in a prospect who's already well known to the Eagles in Isaiah Winder.
Pick 3 is with the Giants, and they've gone for a familiar name in Philip Davis. We just know him as Phil, though, don't we, Cal?
We do, and he's back. That was part of the way that one was going to play out in terms of how that delisting was happening there. So he's gone around one more. I think the Giants put out that one more social media post.
Yes, one more.
One more, so Phil Davis is back for next year. So we'll keep doing that. But, I think that we just need to see that this is the way clubs use this rookie draft a little bit differently.
The 4th selection is with Essendon, and from Central Districts, they've gone with Rhett Montgomery.
Yeah, he's a mature age defender. So he's 22 years old, about a medium size, 187 centimetres, playing in the SANFL as well. So that's a prospect that they've clearly had their eye on, playing for Central District, as we mentioned. 3 seconds over the 20-metre sprint at the combine. So certainly has that capacity to come in and make a difference. And clearly they think that given his age as a mature age prospect, and that's kind of what we like as well with the rookie draft, don't we? The capacity to be able to bring in players with different ages and give them a shot. the rookie draft obviously can just be 1-year contracts, so you don't have to obviously sign the 2-year deals that come through the national.
Alright, there we go, we're back.
Clubs a little bit more of an opportunity to
Sorry about that.
make some of those, bigger shots.
So the Crows have pick 5 and another familiar name in Andrew McPherson, Cal.
Yeah, redrafted there, so they delisted him through the most recent sort of off-season and give him another.
Alright, with the technical difficulties, we should be alright now, so hopefully we're all good to go.
Pick 6 is with Hawthorn and they have selected Seamus Mitchell. Also,
I might actually raise the volume on this actually.
Yeah, that's right, and it opens up spots for them during the national draft as well. It gives them some extra room to move on that front, so that's why that does happen. The players do get that extra couple of weeks of uncertainty from their point of view, but generally what happens, and we've barely seen it changed or different, whereby you commit to a player and things go different on draft day once you've delisted them. Generally what would happen is, in this case we've just seen with these two guys, they get delisted, no other clubs come for them, then the clubs get to pick them up as a rookie selection. And we're about to see a bit of a second chance saloon here, because with pick 7, Gold Coast have selected Connor Blakely, of course formerly of the Fremantle Dockers. This is a good pickup for them, Cal. Yeah, and they've clearly identified this as being a need in terms of adding to their maturity inside their squad through the midfield there. 25 years old, 26 years old, played plenty of games through a long period now. What was it? He's drafted at the end of 2000.
That's surprising that he actually got delisted actually, because yeah, someone like a Gold Coast will definitely reap the rewards of his experience, I'm sure.
And outside of that first midfield squad, and I think though that Gold Coast will be able to bring him in and add some depth to their mix. So I like the fact that you can get some opportunities like this down the track. Well, sometimes all you need is that fresh start. We've seen that with multiple players, that if you go to a new club, you might be in a bit different position. You might just be in a different state. You've got new belief, you've got new people around you, and you end up kicking goals.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how often it happens and how good it is.
All right, with pick 8 is Port Adelaide, and they've just scrolled down the screen, so we're just going to have to wait for that. But it is Callum Williams, Cal. Dylan Williams, sorry, Cal. What can you tell us about Dylan Williams?
Well, Dylan Williams, he's been relisted there for the Power, so that's where this is that coming back into things again, whereby you just need to see the talent come through, and that's where we do need to think about come together with his game, because we do need to see that opportunity sort of present itself for him. And look, that's why we've seen a bit of this already, haven't we, with Andrew McPherson coming through, and also we've seen a couple of others. Phil Davis,
yes.
I think Ed Kerno will get taken as well. Connor Blakely obviously gets that chance as well. So that's where we're seeing some of these picks, and I don't think we'll see the end of this too. I'm expecting Jake Stein to come in as well and get an opportunity.
Yep, there we go.
So yeah, I feel like this is where this part of the draft, we're starting to see some of these options pop up.
So 41 selections for the rookie draft, but already we've seen a club pass, and it's St Kilda with pick 9. So let's move on to pick 10. It's with Carlton, and Cal, as you foreshadowed, as you just mentioned then, it's Ed Kerno. So we're seeing this multiple times already today, that clubs are going back to the well with players they know.
That's right. So he was delisted, ready to go around again. Didn't play as much footy in 2022 as in the past, but still really needs a mature option and backup option throughout that midfield.
All right, the Western Bulldogs with pick 11. They have also chosen to pass, so we'll move on to pick 12, which is with the Richmond Football Club. And they've gone for someone from the Apple Isle. It is Seth Campbell from the Tasmania Devils. What do we know about him?
Kerno's brother.
I'm a bit surprised that he didn't get a chance.
Not too sure.
Last night, obviously, the Tigers had a couple of late options.
I'm trying to get the
directions, but they go with Seth Campbell for this selection. So
here we go. They'll know.
He kicked 16 goals this year in the NAB League, playing for Tasmania. About 182, 183 centimetres. He runs the.
Ed Kerno's the older brother of Charlie Kerno.
Look, he's been pretty consistent.
He's been on the list for actually a long time, actually.
A couple of his allies highlights too, playing in the national championship. So a player from Burnie. We know that's produced some AFL players in the past. I think Lockie Weller might have been a product of Burnie back in the day, but that's another one out of the Tasmanian production line in Seth Campbell.
Oh, well, good on you, Seth. That dream of yours has been realised. We will keep moving on to pick 13, I should say. It is with Fremantle, and they've gone for Liam Reedy, who is out of the VFL, Cal. Is Liam Reedy ready for AFL?
Well, he's on the radar of clubs mid-season, actually, as a potential ruck option there. So he gets his chance.
Here we go. So,
yeah,
so Blake Drury,
I think that the ruck
Isaiah,
options
I think it's Isaiah Winder,
draft,
Phil Davis. So Phil Davis is back on the list. Rhett Montgomery, Andrew McPherson.
A target for the mid-season draft next year. So you get in first, 204 centimetres, as I said.
Seamus Mitchell, Connor Blakely, Dylan Williams, and Ed Kerno have so far been picked up, and Seth Campbell.
Obviously, who've missed out on opportunities over the last couple of days.
Next up, it is Melbourne with pick 14, and from South Adelaide, they've gone for Will Verrill.
Another ruckman.
But Ethan Phillips is still there, which is very surprising.
Taller types throughout the national draft, and they picked up Matt Jefferson there. They picked up Jed Adams as well. So I do think that they clearly have identified this as being a need for them. So a player from South Australia, played for South Adelaide, 199 centimetres, and averaged about 25 hit-outs this season for South Adelaide at under-18 level. So we see some of his highlights here, and he's able to get around the ground and do
there you go.
And certainly has a bit of a leap and jump on him.
Not to be confused with Will Ferrell.
No, that would be a funny pick though.
All right, 15 is with the Brisbane Lions, and they've gone back to the well. Ryan Lester, so he's going to go around again.
Okay, there you go. Interesting.
Some time now, Cal, but from what I've been told, really important in terms of culture.
Yep, all good, Kev.
A much-loved player at the Lions, so they're able to relist him, and I'm sure that's been obviously in the works over a period of time now since they delisted him.
All right, let's go to Collingwood now. They've got selection 16, and they've gone with Cooper Murley, so a similar.
Yep. All right, so we've done Cooper. I think we have another pick though, but I'm not entirely sure.
But now on the rookie list, and will be hoping to make his way back into that senior action.
All right, the Swans come into play now. They've got selection 17, and they've picked from the Tasmania Devils, Cameron Owen. So another Tassie boy.
Another Tassie boy and another ruckman, which is good to see. I think he was another one who had some interest late in the piece on Tuesday night, but a prospect who can also go forward. But he's 202 or 203 centimetres. Quite athletic as well. Played some good games in the NAB League this season, playing for Tasmania, as we saw there, and also here for the Allies. But yeah, he's been a busy player across this season, playing in the ruck, and certainly will be a long-term candidate for the Swans. And it's not usual that they usually draft these type of guys as 18-year-olds, but they've lost some ruck depth over the off-season, haven't they, with the retirement of Cal Sinclair and Sam Naismith being delisted as well. So he comes into things there.
All right, and the last selection for round 1 in the rookie draft for 2022 is Geelong, and they've gone from the Geelong Falcons. They love that. A local boy, Oscar Murdoch.
Yeah, another local for him. He'll be a teammate of
Wow, so Ethan Phillips is completely missed.
Captain at the Geelong Falcons throughout this year, and also they'll bring in, as we mentioned before, Tekla Hesse and Oscar Riccardi from the Geelong Falcons too. So at least 4 players coming from that team this year to join the Cats. Oscar Murdoch, he's a medium defender, bit of a penetrating kick, and I think that's probably his weapon. He takes the eye with his ball use and was able to...
Or is that just the first round and there's a few others?
Playing for Vic Country too. So Oscar Murdoch gets his chance there as the final pick of the first round of the rookie draft.
All right, so let's get into round 2 of the NAB AFL rookie draft for 2022. The pick is with North Melbourne, and from...
Oh, okay, yeah, no, sorry, we're in the second round. Oh my god, okay, all right.
Free joining a number of new recruits, Cal, at Arden Street.
Yeah.
It's looking very different down there.
another ruckman. He's 24. He's 24, and a good story. He's been overlooked in a long list of drafts, so 202 centimetres, and they've clearly identified that as their need. And they drafted a ruckman on Tuesday night in Max Noble, but they've picked up Hamish Free, who might be able to fill a more pressing need for them, because you look at what they did throughout the trade period, they obviously lost some ruck depth in that space. So he comes through there, and they've identified the local to fill that for them.
Pick 20 is with the West Coast Eagles, and from the West Coast Eagles, they've gone with Zane True.
St. True just
Yeah, all these guys are
club as well.
players I have
One of those stories
no
who,
clue about.
was cut by the Eagles, but now gets a return back to their list.
And we're seeing that.
Oh,
in
okay, there you go. So he's a former. He was already on their list prior.
They've gone for Paul Seedsman. Now we know Seedsman
Ah, there we go.
has concussion issues, Cal, but he gets another chance as a rookie with the Crows, which is it's a lovely story.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we hope that he can get it back to playing senior footy. Really, I mean, there's obviously
Definitely deserves a lot better than having concussion issues. That's for sure.
A series of months now, so hopefully we can see him get back at AFL level, but almost, or more importantly, just back to full health as well.
Here. All right, pick 22 is with Hawthorn. They've chosen to pass. So let's move on to pick 23 with Gold Coast, and they've gone for Jake Stein. So this is another player who gets his second chance after being at the Giants.
Yeah, that's right, and I think they've really viewed Jake Stein as being a player who can come in and be a help for them in the back line. He's athletic. We know his story to coming into the AFL from an athletics background, but played some senior footy across recent years and manages to get another AFL chance here. So, look, I think he'll be beneficial. They've obviously lost the recent retirement of Rory Thompson in that space too. So
he doesn't look half bad, to be honest.
Come in and play at both ends of the ground as well a little bit. So yeah, Jake Stein comes in and gives them a little bit of extra backup, I think, in that part of the game.
Yeah, he actually doesn't look half bad.
We've got back-to-back passes. So St Kilda have passed at 24, and the Western Bulldogs have also passed.
All right, now we're into the final 8 picks.
That brings us up to Richmond with pick 26. And from their VFL program, which is another thing that we love to see, is Tyler Young. So he's obviously impressed in the twos, Cal, and now he gets his chance as a rookie at Punt Road Oval.
It does. Just looking through some of his work, he's a mature age prospect, another taller type. So they've obviously turned to that area of the ground, 196 centimetre player, 24, former soccer star. So he's been through that program there, and the Tigers have looked within to boost their stocks on that front.
All right, next up is Fremantle with selection 27. They've chosen to
pass.
And at 28, Melbourne from the Mansfield Football Club have selected Oliver Sestan. So the D's, we know they are.
We're getting close.
Jefferson on night 1, and
we're getting close.
Joining him from the Mansfield Football Club from the Goulburn Valley Football League, Cal.
Well, this is a bit of a smoky, it's fair to say. I think I might have seen him train recently, and he might have got a gig recently after a training session. So that might be one who takes the eye a bit. I think you're a bull-looking midfielder. Let's just wait and see the highlights tape come through. But that is a smoky. Keep an eye on Oliver Sestan.
And 29 with the Brisbane Lions, and they've re-rookied, or they've put on their rookie list, Nakia Cockatoo, of course. This is a player, Cal, with so much.
All right, next pick. I'm pretty sure we've got the next pick.
Nice to see him get another chance.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And just a little bit more on Oliver Sestan. He did train more recently.
I might actually turn that off so I don't get spoiled.
A lot of clubs are looking for him. I think he might have beaten George Wardlaw at a one-on-one and managed to get some credence from that from the AFL recruiters who are watching on. So that's
come on, we need Ethan Phillips. Come on.
From him from Melbourne there, so that's a good story, as well as Nakia Cockatoo obviously coming through.
Certainly one way to catch the recruiters' eyes when you're going toe-to-toe with George Wardlow. But with pick 30, it is Collingwood. They have chosen to pass, so we move on to pick 31 with the Sydney Swans.
Really?
South Adelaide, they have gone for Jaden McGaw.
Yeah, Jaden McGaw, he's had a really good season and a goal kicker.
So that's it for us, is it?
Across this season. So he did have some interest from clubs in the second half of last.
How would you not pick up Ethan Phillips?
Wasn't taken, obviously, so gets through to the Swans, and the Swans had a number of picks last night as well. So it doesn't surprise me that the Swans have carried that interest through. He's medium forward. He can mark above his head. He's quite nifty around goal, so keep an eye out for him.
And a very familiar name with the last pick in round 2 of the NAB AFL Rookie Draft for 2022. The pick is with Geelong. It's pick 32, and they've gone for Oscar Riccardi. So we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We love it, though, don't we? Because he is the son of a great, best and fairest.
Yeah, and he finished his season really well, Oscar Riccardi, in that he's a lighter body player, but still get plenty of running into his game. We see his right foot use there. Of course, his dad was a very famous left footer, but Oscar Riccardi, a right footer through the midfield. He trained really well at the end of the season and tested really well for the NAB AFL Draft Combine and through that screening there. So certainly been on the radar for a long time. I think his development across this year has given the Cats some hope that this is a guy that's worth persisting with. And sometimes you only have to show little bits, and certainly throughout this year, given the bloodlines as well, there was enough to say, let's get him on the list and get him into our program and see how he goes.
Good luck to Oscar in the blue and white hoops. Let's move on to round 3 of the NAB AFL Rookie Draft for 2022. The pick is with North Melbourne. It is selection 33. And they've gone with Daniel Howe. So another one who gets
another Hawthorn.
Chance. And it's a reunion of sorts, isn't it? Because he's going to
another
be
Hawthorn player.
Clarkson.
Yeah, Alistair Clarkson and Liam Shields will join as a pre-season supplemental period selection as well in coming days officially. So Daniel Howe joins North Melbourne to fill up that list. And they've been looking for experience. We heard from Brady Rawlings on the NAB AFL Draft Night Countdown just last week, and he spoke about how they were looking to add some more experience through the rookie draft. And Daniel Howe's played about 90 odd games for the Hawks and comes through.
I think he's maybe less than 5 off the 100. He was very close to getting there, so he'll get there with North.
That's right. So it's good to see these second chances for these players, and particularly, as you say, there's the reunion of sorts there for the coach and player.
All right, let's go to pick 34. It's with the Gold Coast Suns. They have chosen to pass, as have Richmond with pick 35, Melbourne with pick 36, Brisbane with pick 37, Geelong with pick 38. But we do have a selection with North Melbourne at 39. And I'm not surprised by this name because I was down at Arden Street this morning, Cal, and I saw him running around. It's Kane Turner.
That would be a fair hint that he was going to be in the mix for today, wasn't it? Obviously another one of these players who's been delisted, but obviously gets another opportunity through the rookie draft to come back on and into the system and play his role within that forward half.
All right. Gold Coast is up next with pick 40. They have chosen to pass, and with the final selection, Gold Coast Suns, they have also chosen to pass with pick 41. So, Cal, we've seen some familiar names such as Daniel Howe get a second chance. We've seen the likes of Kane Turner get another chance at their club. And then we've seen some boys that were overlooked as well get a chance and their opportunity. Yeah,
absolutely. And some first-time chances, as you say. Blake Drury, the number 1 pick in the rookie draft and deserves that accolade after what was a really consistent season for him at NAB League level and also for Vic Metro too. And then we saw some new faces throughout that period. Jaden Magor, I was happy for him to get a shot as well. A couple of ruckmen through that period as well. Cameron Owen. Oscar Murdoch goes to the Cats, a player who I thought was a little bit unlucky on Tuesday night not to get a look at there. We've seen clubs mine the state leagues for ruckmen and key position players to give them a shot and see how they crack in at that point too. So that's the beauty of the rookie draft. Everyone sees it a little bit differently. It's fast and furious and done pretty quickly, but recruiters have put in a lot of time across this year trying to see if they might be able to find a nugget of gold later in the piece.
And AFL.com.au and the AFL Live app for all you need to know on these latest recruits. Now, Cal, please tell me, you're getting on a plane, you're going somewhere. I don't want to see you until next year. You have been that damn busy.
Yeah, no, not yet. But I'll be around. But it's been good fun. It's been great fun, and we appreciate everyone for tuning into our coverage over the last week. We hope it's been as comprehensive as it can be. Draft Night Countdown was great. We love that, and your work as well, Sarah, and the team's work behind the scenes to get all these drafts through to everyone watching has been fantastic. So it's been a lot of fun, and on to 2023.
Oh, we've still got a few more months. Well, thanks for joining us on the NAB AFL Rookie Draft. We'll see you again shortly.
Alright, so that's obviously it for the coverage. We'll probably quickly, real quick, what's his name? We'll probably do some highlights of Cooper Murley, just because we've done it of every other player. So we might as well do it for this guy. Alright, so let's go. Alright, so obviously this is Cooper Murley. For those who have been aware of our list in the last 12 months, will know exactly who this kid is. Basically a small midfielder, similar to probably similar to like a Zach Merritt potentially, someone in that vein. And yeah, this is basically his highlights, and we'll just go ahead and probably muted actually. But yeah, you can obviously see with actually I might need to up the resolution actually. I have done that, jeez. Okay. Might start from the start. But yeah, so this is Cooper. As I said, we've known this kid for about 12 months now. So that's obviously him getting on the end of it, using his speed and pace. Obviously a bit of a... Personally, I'd like to see him be tried out as a small forward, personally. But obviously he's got a lot of ball winning skills. And that goal right there, my God, that's a good goal. Obviously has the goal sense to be a very good small forward. Don't necessarily... I don't think he has the ability to rack up the ball in terms of a heap of touches, so you won't be seeing him with 30 disposals. But definitely maybe like a high half forward sort of type of player, obviously moving forward. And but yeah, I think the club would probably have him as more of a midfielder, but personally I think his best position is probably somewhere around half forward. And yeah, obviously he's like kicking goals there and doing extremely well for himself. You can just see the how he's there in the contest. Obviously appreciates the hard ball sort of thing. So but yeah, yeah. So this is one where yeah. So this is basically one to where this isn't like a bad pick because this kid, as we know, definitely has the talent. And yeah, it's just a matter of how he goes through his development. I think it's also just to open up a list spot as well too, because we'll probably get one through the we'll probably pick up a player, whether if it's through the SSP or the mid-season draft. We're definitely going to get someone in that sort of area. So but yeah, so in terms of what this kid can do, he can definitely do a lot. And I think overall now, I think we've got a fairly even list if you really look at it. Outside of probably maybe a ruckman and maybe a key defender and key forward, there really isn't a lot that we're in desperate need of. And even then, outside of probably maybe a ruckman, every position we have is pretty well stocked, all things considered. And the fact that it's such an even list at this point, I definitely have high hopes for next year and next season. So we'll just have to see how it all plays out. But yeah, with all that being said, and let me know what you guys reckon. Do you reckon Collingwood's gonna have a good year next year? Do you think we've done well overall? Let me know what you think. And but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for me. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the content. I will be doing a breakdown overall of the draft period, probably the trade period as well, because I haven't covered that yet. And then I'm probably gonna focus on everyone individually. This is just more just of a basic. All right, this is just quickly just to get something out, but I'll go into a bit more depth with each player that we get, with a bit of highlights and things like that I can try and get together. So, but with all that said, yeah, we've now reached to the end of the stream. So if you like the stream, please like the stream, and if you want more of my content, please subscribe for future content. And I'd like to thank you all for watching and hope to see you all in another video and or stream. Thanks.